Happy Halloween. This is Tiffany here. Thank you so much for joining me for this Halloween special. I hope that you can hear me okay. I'd really appreciate it if you just pop a message in the chat box just to say, hi, yes, I can hear you. You're not talking to yourself. That would be really reassuring. Thank you very much. So for those of you that haven't come across me before, I'll just let you know a tiny bit about who I am before I go into what we're going to do today, okay? So my name is Tiffany Crisara, and I help people get in contact with their own supernatural ability. So you might be sat here thinking, well, she's got tarot cards and, she's going to give us a reading, which is true. I am going to give you a reading, but the predominant way that I work with the tarot is actually to help you actually inform yourself or get connected to the rhythms of life. And the tarot is just a mirror of who you are and the rhythms of your life. So what I'm going to do today, because it's a Halloween special in particular, is I'm also going to talk about how I get the information as it comes through. Halloween is supposed to be the day when the veil is the thinnest, although I did a reading earlier today and it was basically a tree trunk in Emily Carding's Transparent Tarot. Some of you may know that. There's a tree trunk on one of the cards and it's transparent, so you put the film, basically each card is on a film, transparent film. So on one side of the tree there was a man looking confused, and on the other side of the tree there was a man with 10 swords in his back, which is basically dead, right? So this is going to be an interesting Halloween AstroTarotChannel, because it seemed like the human was confused at how thick the veil was. And actually today it's boiling. I'm in the UK, by the way, in case you're sat there thinking, yeah, isn't that normal if you're there from Australia? I know a few people from Australia are joining us. No, it's not normal in the UK to be boiling, for the sun to be out and everything like that on Halloween. So I went out for some lunch dressed like this and felt very out of place. So I think it's an interesting Halloween that we're in, currently this year. And I don't know about you guys, but everyone I've spoken to around October time, so obviously we're still in October, but this last month has had a kind of a breakdown point. It's been incredibly stressful. And Halloween is on this day because in the old Celtic calendar, this is the last day of their year. And then tomorrow is actually the new year. So really, what I would like to do is not just have a meditation, which we are going to do. We're going to do a little meditation to honor those on the other side, loved ones predominantly, and spirit guides and others that we actually feel a lot of love and gratitude for. So we're going to do a little meditation to kind of merge with their energy. We're also going to bring into that meditation, what is it that you actually want to leave behind? Because I know that there's definitely some old ways of being that came up this month that I'm really ready to leave behind. It's like a New Year's Day tomorrow. So really, I would like you to think about, what is it that you want dead in your life? What behaviors, what patterns are you ready to let go of, basically? And we will do that in a moment. We'll go on to the meditation. So basically, yes, how did this happen to me? How am I sat here in front of you now? Well, I came across the tarot when I was 4 years old, and it mesmerized me, and I didn't really do anything with it until I was 14, and I got very, very curious, and it wasn't good for me. I developed a lot of anxiety, obsessiveness, compulsiveness. I just wanted it to tell me what I wanted to hear. And of course it never did, because the tarot is just a mirror and you have to change in yourself really to get some different results. And that culminated in a big event for me when I was 20 and I was pregnant. and I did a reading, and I saw that I was going to lose the child. And I did. I lost my daughter when she was 4 months old. But what happened to me when I saw that, because I didn't know how to handle it, I didn't know what to do with it, was that I just turned my back on the tarot, and I decided not to tell anybody that that had happened. So basically, I stuck my head in the sand, and nothing changed, and it came to pass. And then when it did come to pass, I thought, okay, well, I might as well start telling people what happened. And instead of them saying, well, don't do that again, they started saying, would you read for me? And I thought, well, you know what? If people are asking me to read for them, and I've seen everything I have, and I've learned the hard way, maybe there's something here about how I can turn that round to empower people. So I did actually go on a course. It wasn't a GCSE or a degree, but it was a diploma course, and I learned the tarot properly, and I learned how to use it for empowerment. So for instance, if I saw something like that today, it would basically be saying, you know, let's look at what's behind this. Let's see why that's happening, blah, blah, blah. So it's about getting understanding. That's what the tarot is about. It's about getting understanding so that we can inform ourselves, so that we can bring to awareness what needs changing and go ahead and change it. And that's really where I am now. I mean, my journey took me from being a psychic reader in some of London's top companies, and then I got published, and I'm the author of The Transformational Truth of Tarot and The Transformational Truth of You, which has just come out. But where I am now in life is that I'm very much more about empowering people, coaching people, and tarot is a tool for me to actually do that. So that's a little bit about who I am. And my computer's very far away, but I just want to check in and see if you can hear me. I'm not seeing any messages saying that you can or you can't. So at the moment, I'm just assuming that you can, because they say that no news is good news, but it's very far away. So I'm just coming over just to check and see if I'm missing something. And then we will go in and we will do the meditation. And then after the meditation, I will do the live general reading for the month. And then I will also share with you as I go through that how I'm getting those impressions. And then after that, we'll have some time, a little bit of time. It's a first come, first served basis for you to actually put in the chat box a question. Now, this question could be something you want me to psychically read on, or this question could be something that you are struggling with in your own personal or psychic development that you would like me to, you know, actually kind of share my knowledge on. So either of those questions are absolutely fine. I am a little bit funny when it comes to questions. As I said, I'm into empowerment. So if you're going to ask me something that's really predictive, that's fine. You can ask me whatever you like, but I'm just letting you know that it's my duty to sometimes reword or rephrase it so that it comes from the place where you're going to get the best from it. Okay, so if that happens, don't feel affronted. It's just the way that I work. And I'm seeing lots of comments coming through now. Thank you. I can't read them from here, so it's really nice to see that they're there, and I better just come up and check them and see if if you can hear me okay, or if it's just saying can't hear you at all. So let's have a look. Oh, fabulous. Thank you very much, everyone, saying you can see and you can hear me. That's brilliant. Okay. Right, so then we will start with meditation. So if you would just like to close your eyes. Just take a few lovely deep breaths in and out. And with every breath out, just release all of the happenings of the day so far. And just say to yourself that this is your time for you. So just allow that to be the case. If you haven't already switched off Facebook or your phones, don't worry about it. For now, just let that go and just give yourself permission to come into your own space. And I'd like you just to send a little thought out to the universe, calling upon all the loved ones and spirit guides and helpers present on the other side that often help you in your life and that wish to help you become the best version of you, serve your purpose on the planet, and make the positive changes that you are here to do for yourself and the ripple effect that has in the world. Just give them gratitude also for being those helpers, even if you're not aware of them. Just really welcoming the love and the support that's all around you. Just feel how thin that veil is today and how easy it is to feel and welcome in the love connection and the high guidance connection into your energy field as you breathe in, just relaxed and gently. And as you breathe out, just send your love and gratitude out to your loved ones, spirit guides and helpers on the other side. Just draw them close as if you were embracing them gently with your energy. And just spend a moment saying to them what it is that you wish to leave behind today in order to step into the new life that is reborn tomorrow in the Celtic New Year. And with each thing you state, just feel your energy becoming lighter and lighter, as if you're chucking boxes out of a boat that's going to sink if you don't let it go. And as you feel lighter and lighter, you can welcome in that love more and more. And if you wish to, you may wish to state to them that you wish to be of service to the universe's creation for everyone on the planet that comes into your orbit, that you may have positive, long-lasting ripple effects that go out into the world. And of course, that starts with the self. So ask for the support, the growth, the wisdom, the ability to embrace that for your own life as well. And now turning our attention to the Astro Tarot channel while your eyes are still closed. We just bring our energies together just by seeing a circle of light that is formed by everybody on this webinar. And lights coming out of our third eye area, meeting in the middle, forming a prism of light. And seeing the world spinning in this circle. And just setting the intention that whatever information is received today also has the effect of raising our own awareness and spreading light out to the world, even for those that aren't here live but are on the replay. We'll join them in and we'll see them in a circle behind us as well. Beautiful. Okay, so just keeping that lovely, gorgeous, love-filled connection feeling to the spirit world and to each other. If you just prepare to bring your attention back to your body by breathing deeply and letting go of the visualization. And stretching and coming back into the room when you're ready. I hope you feel really beautifully chilled and free of whatever stresses and strains and old patterns and dynamics that may have come up so strongly last month for you. We're going to move into the reading part now. So I am just going to come over here and see if everything is okay for you guys before I start reading by looking at the messages in the chat box quickly. Okay, so everyone's fine with seeing and hearing, apart from Satnam. So Satnam, the only thing I can suggest is if you close everything else that's open on your computer and refresh and see if it's okay for you then. Okay, so now we're going over to the reading part for November. And I've got 3 decks here. I always use 3 decks, but I'm using a different deck today. I'm using Aldo's new cards. Aldo's on the call as well. Aldo's my colleague from Psychic Today. We did readings on the TV together. And he has launched this amazing tarot deck called the Rafa Tarot. And it's gorgeous. You see all this silver on the outside, and the inside is just as rich because it's multicultural. It's the only tarot deck I know to honor all paths of spirituality, religious as well, and every kind of corner of the earth. And there's so much symbolism in them. They're really, really rich, which is what I really love, because the more symbolism that's in a deck, the more keys there are to actually go aha and unlock more information. So if you're interested in getting a deck, maybe just send him a little message here in the chat box, because as I said, he is on the call, and as far as I know, he's still there on the call. So we've got this lovely moon energy with the silver around the Rafa Tarot, and then we've got this gorgeous deck with the gold as well. And they're both the same size. They're huge. They're huge, huge cards. This one is Chiro Machetti's Tarot of Dreams, which is very hard to get hold of. So in fact, this is actually in Polish. It's a very special deck. I love it because it has a lot of astrology in it. And usually when I work with it, what happens is where the astrology is, it comes up also in the cards. So, you know, for, you know, people that say that, you know, it's just random, that kind of proves to you that it isn't just random. Okay, and then we have the Osho Zen, which seem tiny in comparison. They are tarot, but they're slightly different, and they bring in a very internal kind of flavor to things. So I love to work with those. So what I do is I lay out 3 cards for each week, and then 3 cards for the general. So what I would like is for your energy in this as well, please, guys. So to do that, I would just like you to tune in and just also, you know, what we just did really about setting the intention that the information that we get comes through for the highest good of everyone on the call, everyone on the replay, and everyone who, you know, comes into some contact with it, like the 6 degrees of separation, and may it ripple around the world. Okay, so I'm just starting to shuffle Aldo's deck now. And you might just want to kind of tune in with me and just feel the energy. And when you feel ready, just kind of say in your head, stop, and see if I do stop at that time. Okay. So the first card that we've got for the first week is the Prince of Rivers, which would be the Prince of Cups or the Knight of Cups. And then the next one we've got is the Princess of Flames for the next week. I'll talk about these more, like when they're all out, I bring them up one by one and we go in depth week by week. But I'm just letting you know as I turn them over what they are, because you probably can't see them that well. Lord of Evaluation, 7 of Pentacles for the beginning of the 3rd week. And Lord of Illusions, which is the 7 of Cups in the 4th week. Some of you might recognize some of these names because they are the names that the Golden Dawn gave each of the tarot cards. And then we've got the major for the general part, and that is the first major arcana. That's what I mean, is like for those that maybe don't know, just in case you're wondering what is a major arcana. Major arcana is basically the influence behind what is happening. So all of these have been minor arcana, and that's your day-to-day life, who, what, where, when. Whereas the Hermit is basically pulling the strings. It's almost like the puppeteer for these puppets here and how they're working out during the day. Okay, so let's now do the same for Chira Machetti's Tower of Dreams. Nice deep breath, tune in. Okay. So the first card we have there is the Fool. It's another major arcana. Okay. Another major arcana, the Star for the 2nd week. 10 of Pentacles, the 3rd week. Queen of Flames, I was about to say, fire, same thing, for the 4th week. And the Devil is in the general along with the Hermit. So the major energies are starting to come up quite strongly now. We'll just see what also happens here with the Osho Zen. Okay. So tuning in. Okay. Innocence, that's another major. Like I said, these are slightly different, but Innocence in the Osho Zen is actually the Sun card. So it's another major arcana. The Fool is the Fool. So we've got the Fool energy going right the way through the first 2 weeks of November. Mind is the Knight of Swords. Okay. Experience is the 3 of Wands. and breakthrough. Breakthrough is interesting because it's actually the number of justice, and but it's called breakthrough in the Osho Zen. So I guess that's the case of like the truth shall set you free, or break through whatever is holding you back. I do think we've had a lot of that over October, which is Libra, which is the sign of justice. So I always find that October has a lot of that, but there seems to be obviously some kind of like, it's going deeper. You know, we're going into the time of Scorpio. It seems like there's more. You might just think, okay, you know, we're done with that. it's all cushy, it's all clear. But this seems to be saying that there are some deeper processes going on. In fact, I was playing the Gift of Enlightenment, which is a fantastic game, last night with my husband, and in there you have to clear your negative karma, and he always gets really good karma, but last night, my gosh, it was clearing. I've never seen anything like it. The pile that he cleared was bigger than the pile of cards that we had to take. I've never seen anything like it. So I really do think it is a strong clearing time at this moment. And I guess, you know, it always seems that way. You know, if we look at astrologers or readers on YouTube, it's like, oh, it's a strong clearing time. It's a really strong time. It's a really challenging time. And yes, you know, we are deep characters. We do look deep. And the deeper you look, the more you see. Like, so on the surface, you know, everything can look calm. And it's the same with the tarot. The tarot is actually quite melodramatic. So it blows things up. And it has to do that because if you don't see it, if you don't look at it, then you don't really get it. You know, the pain of where you are has to be more painful than the pain of where you're going, or the pain of growing. And of course, growing is painful. Yeah, it's growing pains. So really, you know, if you're on this path, if you're on the path of spiritual development, yeah, then this is it, isn't it? You're dealing with the stuff of life. Like, I watched a film this week called oh gosh, I can't remember it now, but it's something to do with happiness, and it had Simon Pegg in it, and it was great. It was really inspirational, and it was all about what doesn't make you happy. And one line in it was, the avoidance of unhappiness is not the way to happiness. And also on my little trek outside, I saw a sign that said, life is not about waiting for the storm to be clear. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. So, you know, if it does sound like I'm being a bit intense, it's just what life's about. Yeah, really. I mean, you can just, I guess, shut off and go through life on the surface if that's what you really want to do. That's your free will, and that's your choice. But most people on this path have actually had something happen to them that's given them a wake-up call, that's made them go deeper. So sometimes it doesn't feel like a choice once you've started. It's like, okay, this is it. I'm on the path of clearing. And that is what we're here to do, isn't it? As souls, we incarnate to evolve. At least that's what my belief is. So anyway, after that little pep talk, we shall go into what it looks like for the first week. So the Prince of Rivers seems to be bringing us quite a lot of intuition and quite a lot of new offers. There's a feeling of being reborn, funnily enough, because, you know, it's, as I said, a new day tomorrow in terms of the Celtic old calendar. It was the new year day. And also, I didn't tell you that today's date adds up to 13, and 13 in the tarot is death. So basically, you know, we are letting go of the old today massively, and tomorrow we really are stepping into the new. We've got this beautiful, beautiful energy of the Knight of Cups that's giving us all of these kind of opportunities. Now, these opportunities feel more internal to me. It feels like as we've cleared and we've let go, we get inspirational messages, and there's a beautiful feeling of being receptive, of being open to love, both giving and receiving, and being open to the messages and there's just a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous flow. And it just seems to get more and more powerful because we have the Fool energy here. Now, the Fool is so clear. It's such a big intuitive channel. It's unbelievable. And so what you have here, I feel, is a very, very intuitive start to November, particularly as we also have innocence. Interesting that the sun came up as innocence because the Fool is the card of the newborn. Okay, so basically what you have here is this gorgeous rebirth energy, and sun is your birthday, you know, you're reborn on your birthday. Have many happy solar returns. It means you're reborn again. So we've got this really, really, really strong rebirth energy going through this first week. And it's lots of opportunities and it's lots of creativity and it's the ability to see really, really clearly. Because when the sun is out, that's what we can do. We can see clearly. But this innocence is so strong. I keep coming back to that because it's really, really strong. And if you look at how creative children are, how imaginative they are, how free they are, it's because their head isn't full with, I've got to pay this bill, I've got to be here that time, and I don't have enough time. My bus isn't here, my car's broken down, my phone's run out of battery. You know, they don't have that. Okay. And so the more that you can not have that in this week, the better. So that means the more that you can unplug from technology, the better. But also if you can't, then just try seeing through it. Are those things really that important? Or is it really just an illusion? This week, in the first week of November, is very much about freedom. And this is what it's about. Actually, funnily enough, last night I was out and some guys were walking past and they were just like saying to each other, what is freedom? And then they were saying, means I'm not afraid anymore. So, you know, I really think it's very important in this world, if you're afraid of something, to walk towards it. You know, the more that you can kind of go in that direction, then the less fear you're going to have. But the more you back away, the more fear broods. So you've got a really, really, really good opportunity this week, actually, to go, you know what, sod being afraid. If that's one of the things that you kind of let go of just now, well done, fantastic. I know it was mine. It was like a sense of, no, I'm not going to feel like a victim anymore. I'm going to know that I'm in control and I'm going to feel confident in what is going on in my life, and I'm going to know that I'm the creator of it. So in a way, I let go of the fear. And I wonder if that's what you guys did too, because if you did, you know, it's really kind of coming through very well here. So how did I get that information just now? Firstly, I looked at the cards, okay, because my intuition wasn't coming through straight away. So usually I would say to people that are learning the tarot, not to actually look at the cards and not to go into meanings, but to listen to the intuition. And then if it's not there, look at the cards and see the symbolism in it, because the symbolism is the key to bringing up the intuition. But for me, you know, it was the beginning, and I looked at the cards and it was like, okay, so I know that this is about emotions. When I say I know that this is about emotions, Prince of Rivers, it could have been so many things. It could have been proposals, outside opportunities. But I went into my feelings and it was like, no, I really feel this is talking about internal kind of new messages coming through. And that confirmed, again, it was knowledge of the tarot. It confirmed it with the Fool here. It's like a sense of, the Fool's quite electric. It's ruled by Uranus. And so that's what intuition's like. It's instinct. It's instant even. It's just bang, it's there in a second. And if you second guess it or you doubt it, that's where you mess up. So, you know, again, it was knowledge of the tarot, and the same here with the innocence. But as I was reading, I was getting words in my head like the freedom one, and then it was like it was banging again. It was like a hammer. It's like again and again and again. And if that happens, then I know that Spirit is saying to me, you have to accentuate that particular meaning of that particular combination, because that's really what it's about. So I hope that that helps, and we'll move on to the second week. But before we do, actually, I just want to check what the astrology is for the first week to see if anything here ties in. So we have Mercury entering Scorpio, we have Jupiter opposition Chiron, and we have Jupiter quincunx Uranus. So again, as I was saying, the Fool is ruled by Uranus. Jupiter is about growth. And so there's a lot to do with Jupiter in this first week. And it does seem like it's about expansion and being born again, which of course is growth. And so there might be some points that are a little bit erratic and you think you're on some path and then all of a sudden it changes. Like I was saying, it's a bit kind of instant this week and a bit kind of intuitive. And the more that you can play with it and the more that you can kind of embrace it as a child would rather than resist like maybe an adult would, the more you're going to get out of it. Okay, so let's move on to the second week. So again, we start with a court card, and court cards tend to be represent people, a way that we need to be, or they're a message about certain things. So knights are messages of opportunities. Queens, which we have here with the Princess of Flames, are about community. Okay, so basically what we have here, especially with the Star and the Fool as well, the Star and the Fool are both Aquarius. They're both ruled by Aquarian energy, whether that's Uranus, or which is the ruler of Aquarius, or actually Aquarius. And so Aquarius is coming through so strong because we've had the same card, the Fool, just in this other week as well. So this is why I like to use 3 decks, because if I'd have just used one, the Fool wouldn't have been able to come out more than once. So this shows us just how important the Fool is, yes, in this reading. And if you want to kind of try and understand the Fool energy a bit, the easiest way I can say it is Russell Brand. Okay, check Russell Brand out. He's wild. He's able to play the Fool, but actually get a lot of respect. Okay, you either love him or you hate him. Fair enough, yeah. But you can't deny the fact that he's actually got some really strong channel going on, and that he's really free enough to be able to kind of say it and not care about looking like a fool. And that's what makes him so wild, and that's what makes him so untouchable. Okay, so maybe he gets a little bit screwed over by the sun around, what was I going to say? The sun right next to the ball, but around election time, you know, or things along those lines. But if you look at the history of the Fool was the jester, and he was the only one in the Middle Ages that didn't get his head cut off for taking the pee out of the monarchy. So the Fool is really, really, really powerful archetype. And the tarot, it's all about the Fool's journey, because it's the very first card that sets you on that journey. And as a tarot reader, you actually do have to embody the Fool so strongly. Because if you cared about the way that you looked for other people, you wouldn't be doing it. You wouldn't be free enough to let those messages come through and to say it. You just wouldn't. So basically, that's the type of energy that we've got going on in the planet for the first 2 weeks of November. So the more that you can be that childlike, be that playful, be that wild, be that freedom, again, bang, 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 through my head, is what it's about. So what is it that's holding you back? What is it that you're not allowing yourself to do? What is it that you need to give yourself permission to do? What is it you'd like to see in your life? What new things, what new skills, what new experiences? are staying in your head and you're not actually putting the action in to get them going. But what I'd love to see just after the webinar is all of you choosing one thing and deciding that you're going to kind of go forward with that. It might be that you're booking a ticket to Amsterdam. It might be a trip of a lifetime to Thailand. You know, maybe it's nothing to do with travel. Maybe it's just like saying, no, I'm not going to do that with that person anymore, or I'm going to commit to doing a gratitude list. That's something that came up for me the other day. I was like, I need to do my gratitude list. And it was coming through again and again and again. Repetitive thoughts. Where do they come from? In my view, they come from the spirit world. Okay. So that's where I get the information from, in that sense, as well as the cards. But if people just say to me, where do you get the information from? Is it just the cards? No. And so we'll see more as time goes on. But there's a very strong humanitarian energy with that as well. It's very much about service on the planet. So there may be things that you want to do for charity, or it may be that everybody comes together to actually show compassion in the world. It could be to do things with taking in refugees. But there's just generally a very humanitarian aspect to those 2 weeks as well. Okay, so let's just check for the astrology, how that's saying, how that's going on. Venus enters Libra on that week, which again is it's very much the peacemaker. It's very much the mediator. Again, it's very humanitarianism. And we have the new moon in Scorpio as well. So Venus enters Libra on the 8th, and new moon in Scorpio is on the 11th. Okay, so again, it's another level of kind of clearing and getting things out there. So it may be that, you know, certain things are exposed and that we all rally round in our communities or the wider world to actually, we rise to the call of help, basically. Okay, we also have Mars entering Libra. So again, it's like this kind of like we have to do something. The will gets strong around peace and making everything fair in the world, which is beautiful to see. Okay, so we'll move on. Money, money, money. So we've gone from this lofty kind of personal new start in the first week into this, let's put it out there into the world, into the second week, and then boom, in the third week, it's like a sense of just how much resources do we have? Do we actually have enough to go around? And so we've got this sense of coming back down to earth and going, okay, I really need to look at what I'm doing here. Practical matters are really demanding my attention. What is it that I'm building with my life? Am I on the right track? Now, the thing is, we can get so overwhelmed, can't we, these days? So let me show you the cards. You've got the 7 of Pentacles here. So this is what I was saying about, are you on the right track? What are you building? What are you putting your energy into? Is it happening fast enough? Because 7s can be like, they can feel really heavy and they can feel really like, oh gosh, you know, I don't know if I've got it in me to kind of continue on this path. And it's just asking so much for me and it's not giving me enough back. However, the 10 of Pentacles here seems to say have faith. 7s represent endurance. That's the key word for 7. So it seems to be saying like you might feel really kind of at that breakdown point, but it could well be that breakthrough point where, you know, you actually just keeping at it, keeping the faith, keeping the consistency, keeping going. Looks like it's just going to pay off dividends. There's one enemy to that, and that here is this mind card. Can you see how stressed he looks there? Yeah, so this is the energy of overwhelm, and we all know that in this day and age. And that's what I was saying about unplugging sometimes is the best thing you can possibly do. So the use of the third week is very useful if you want to declutter your life. So it does seem to be talking about going into the practical matters of life and looking at, are you taking on too much? Are they profitable enough? Can you clear anything that's not making you enough, that's taking your attention away from the thing that you really want to build that could be making you enough? So there's that side of it, but there's also this sense of like, are you giving out too much on Facebook? Are you just taking on too much energy? There's a sense here of, the word that keeps coming through my head again is meditation. And it just is basically saying that there's a real need to simplify your life as much as you possibly can that week. So having a detox, for instance, may be really, really, really good. Doing meditation, you don't have to go away and shut yourself in a cave up a mountain to be able to do these things. Yeah, okay, it helps. For sure it helps. But if you can't, then what little things can you do at home? And even if you don't manage to do everything that you set it up for to do, never mind. Something is better than nothing, yeah? And we've got to be gentle with ourselves. It's a progress, you know? It's like life is the cha-cha, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Yeah, okay. So how did I get that information coming through? Again, it was like words. I'm not particularly seeing anything at the moment. It's feeling was at the top here, and as I'm going on, it's getting more and more clairaudient, which means clear hearing. And as I said, you know, it's like thoughts in my head. It's like people whispering to me in my ear or in my head. And it's actually stronger than a whisper. It's a feel here. That's what I want to say. It's like you feel the vibration, and it gets stronger and it gets stronger and it gets stronger. So most people think clairaudience means hearing somebody speaking to you outside of your head. That can happen. It's called objective clairaudience, but there's subjective, which is internal as well. So it's like when you just are tuning in and you're listening and you're really kind of feeling a vibration, because sometimes people are like, well, how do you know the difference? I mean, how do you know that you're just not thinking what you want to be thinking? And the difference is in the vibration. The vibration is like strong and it's got a peace with it. That's the key right there. If it's like a little bit doubtful and it hasn't got peace with it, it's got anxiety in some way, then that's not the vibration to be tuning into or listening to. So I hope that helps, and we'll look at the next lot. After we've looked at the astrology, actually, for the third week. Okay, so we've got Neptune going direct, and that's a bit of a wake-up call, and usually in a good way. It's like we start to see clearly. And then we've got Mercury entering Sagittarius, so there is a forward motion. And this card here is Mercury. I don't know if you can see that well, but this sign here is Mercury. This one is Capricorn, which is just after Sagittarius. But generally speaking, with the mind here as well, which is in this card, this is very mercurical as well. So basically, it does seem as if there's a lot to do with clearing the mind out, because Mercury actually represents the mind. So there's a lot here about getting your mind clear, getting your mind grounded, getting your mind functioning and working towards, you being able to actually provide, go ahead, and, actually progress in this world. So it goes kind of personal in the first week on a spiritual level, then it goes kind of out into the world in big service in the second week, and then it's like back to personal, but it's the practical personal growth that we're looking at there. Okay. So on to the fourth week. We have That's interesting. Lord of Illusions, because the Lord of Illusions is Neptune. It's made a direct shift, okay, in the week before. In fact, if we're going to be picky about the dates, it's the 18th, so just like 3 days before. And it's a very big planet, so of course a shift like that it's not just that day, it just kind of has this, it's almost like what they're showing me is like a gong, you know, so that day is like a gong, but the ripple effects either side. So there's things here about, like, when anything changes, there is a point where everything's a little bit chaotic. So there may be a sense here of like, okay, is what I'm getting correct? Am I going back into the past? Am I going into the future? So there's a little bit of like, what gear are my judgments in, and are they correct or not? I do feel that this is just going to get clearer and clearer as that week goes on, because you've got the Queen of Wands. So you've got the Lord of Illusions here, which is the Seven of Cups. And then you've got the Queen of Wands, which is a great card to kind of see with this, because the Seven of Cups is so like, oh, I don't know what to go for. And the Queen of Wands is basically like, yes, you do. Of course you do. And she doesn't really take any crap that way. And she's very clairvoyant. So it's exactly what you need, is the ability to see right through to the heart of the matter. So she just comes in and switches the light on. It's like you've been fumbling around in the dark, and she comes along and switches the light on and goes, stop playing around, just switch the blooming light on. It's as simple as that. And then you've got the Three of Wands here, which shows that you can go forward and put anything behind you again. Put it down to experience, because that's what this card is actually called. It's called experiencing. So yeah, lots of like shift changes in our perception in the 4th week of November. And in fact, you know, that was also what was going on with the 1st week. It was just like a sense of you know, things being one way 1 minute and then another way the next minute. So even though Scorpio is actually really quite a slow sign in terms of its speed, it's quite slow. What you've actually got here is this electrical kind of energy going on at the same time. So it's like, you know how life goes on and it feels like it's not changing, and it just goes on and on and on and on like that. And then all of a sudden, one day, and everything changes. It's kind of got that energy to it this month. So be awake to that. Be aware of that. Yeah, you don't want to kind of be in this place where you're not living in the present, and then all of a sudden the present's changed and you haven't made the most of it. Okay. So again, I'm just getting the messages kind of coming through more here now. As I've been talking, using the cards just for little pinpoints of things. So let's look at the astrology, shall we, for this month. And what does it say for the 4th week? Sorry, it says that Mercury enters Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign. We've got 2 of the cards as fire, Queen of Wands and experiencing, which is the 3 of Wands. So Sagittarius really likes to go forward, yeah, really likes to come out of the comfort zone, really likes to seek and explore and widen the horizons. We've got Uranus semi-sextile Chiron. So again, that kind of Uranus is the wake-up call. Chiron's the wounded healer. So it's a bit like little electric shocks of like, are you awake enough? Yeah, that's kind of going on. And the full moon in Gemini as well. So again, Gemini is very mercurical. It's ruled by Mercury. So as we were seeing the Mercury in the week before, and as I was saying, these things build up. It's not just on the day. Okay, so it's about clearing the mind. Yeah, because Gemini can be here, there, and everywhere, and can make itself very busy doing nothing. So really do watch for that, because it looks like it will be exasperated with this Gemini full moon. And if I hadn't had the tarot there, my interpretation for that would have been completely different, to be honest. I would have gone more on the party scene, because Gemini is the very sociable energy, and that can still be there. It's not that it's not there, but it's like the most important message that was coming through from the tarot and from my feeling inside was that it was more about watch how your mind is around the third and the fourth week, because you know it could be really all over the place. So really do kind of simplify your life, declutter, don't take on more than you have to, don't get yourself overwhelmed, you know, really just calm it down as much as you possibly can. Okay. So the yeah, and we have Saturn square Neptune. Okay, so Neptune, as I said, was going direct, and you've got the Lord of Illusions here, which is very Neptunian. You've also got Saturn directly underneath it in the general, in the devil. So the devil is called Satan, so Saturn, okay? So they're squaring each other, and that's reality, versing dreams, basically. So again, it's like this, what is reality? Am I actually, do I have my feet on the ground here, or am I escaping in some way? So there is this real kind of energy of fight between the two, and trying to work out what is really real and what is really something to concentrate on and what is to let go. And the last one we have is Chiron direct, and Chiron's been going through a bit of a bump there even, and a bang there, all the way through this month, which is interesting because in the last 24 hours I have walked into my bedpost in the dark. I got my finger trapped in a door, and the way I got it trapped in the door was stupid. It was between the latch and the actual thing that you open it with. I mean, I've opened how many doors in my lifetime? I'm 38, for goodness sake. That's never happened to me before. I walked in to the bottom of the stairs and stubbed my toe. And then I was out on the street last night, and someone came up and kicked me right where my bruise was, where I walked into the bed. I mean, they weren't with it. It wasn't really their fault. It was kind of intentional. They were walking along, and then suddenly their leg swung out and really kicked me. But yeah, no, it wasn't like it was basically, you know, it wasn't a full-on attack in that sense. But yes, it was just very odd. So I've been having lots of bumps and bangs already, and you might find that that is the type of energy that's going on as well. I'm not saying that to kind of like plant that seed or anything along those lines, but you know, sometimes you can start reading really deeply into it and be like, well, why is this happening to me? And it's like, well, Chiron, the wounded healer, is kind of doing this, that. It's all just kind of, yeah, it's not a straight path this month. It's very here, there. I don't know where I'm going. And week 3 looks like the time that it's about the most grounded time. So be gentle with yourself. Yeah, be really gentle with yourself as much as you can. It's very important. And we do have a lot of earthing and a lot of grounding behind the scenes, actually, because the Hermit is an earth sign, but it's also mercurial too. So we have this earthing, but there is still a heck of a lot of energy up here in the head going on. And we have the devil here. Now, the devil actually is basically the light bringer, means Lucifer. Lucifer means light bringer. So what you've got here is, if you see with the Hermit as well, his light, yeah, is there shining in the darkness. So what we've got here is a lot around being able to actually switch the light on it, by the way. And as we do that, we get this breakthrough energy here. So it's a bit forwards, backwards, hickledy-pickledy, but don't feel like you're not getting somewhere, because really, in the bigger picture, there's a lot of breakthroughs this month. There's a lot of kind of maybe learning what we want by attracting what we don't want, but only so we can go, oh, I know I don't want that. So it's a bit like a pinball wizard. It's not straight. Like I said, it's not like I know what I'm going for and I'm doing it and I'm doing that now. No, it is more like, okay, all right, I'll try this. No, reroute this way, reroute that way. So yeah, be gentle with yourself and don't take yourself too seriously. Be open and willing to experience and play, like the Fool, yeah, who set the tone so strongly at the beginning. And just see it as exploration, because that's really the way that we learn, is through experiencing. And there seems to be a lot of that this month. Okay, so in terms of how did I get that, I did mainly get that from the tarot this time. I didn't see anything. I did hear in my thoughts and I did feel in here. And now what we're going to do is open up the floor for you to send in questions. I'm going to be running backwards and forwards because the computer is too far away from me to see. So do excuse me. Okay. So we've got half an hour for questions. And I'm just coming to see. Hi. Okay. I have a question about the reading. Okay, Didam, if you'd like to put that in. And great that you've kind of put dots after your question, because please do that, because otherwise I can't see it all. It just stays at the top. So let's have a look. I have a couple of options on my job offers. Neptune appearing in the reading and the probability of it being all over the place made me wonder, is it better to pick the more secure, grounded offer or the one that seems more like a dreamy, risky option? So my first feeling is that it's better not to go with the intellectual, even though there is a lot of mercurical energy around this month. Really what's coming through to me on an individual basis for you is that it's important that you don't find yourself in the same position as before. So if you look back at what's happened in your past and how you got into those situations, so it's the Hermit energy that came up. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to come and put you on my lap. Excuse me. It's just going to be more comfortable and easier for me. Maybe not my lap, but here. Okay. So the Hermit energy is very much about learning from past experience. And as I'm tuning into your energy, I just keep seeing the Hermit and how he's come up. So I think there's something here in the past. Are you making this decision in the same way that you did in the past? And what was the outcome of doing that for you? And, you know, therefore, is it time to try something different or do something different? That's the main message that I've got going on there for you, Didam. I hope that helps. Okay, I'm just going to have a little drink. I came down with a sore throat last night. Excuse me. Which is why I've been drinking all the way through the webinar. I've got the veil in my head. It's a bit misty and a bit foggy, unfortunately. Okay, so let's have a look here. So I'm not going to say the names, actually, just in case you don't want me to say them out. I'm not going to. Now, this one says, today, a man I felt strongly compatible and resonant with emailed me, pushing back our meeting, and sounded like he's had a change of heart despite our deep connection. I'm confused as I thought he was part of the new energy. Can you pick up anything? So what I'm feeling is that this is just you going into some type of panic mode, which is the old energy. So it is not that he's part of the old energy. It's that when things have changed, we often bring the past with us and pull it back to how it was. So watch for that. And I would say just, you know, Don't worry about it. You know, go out and have fun and just make sure that you aren't in that old energy of things. And it just feels like it'll come round. It'll come round when it's meant to. But this is part of the testing and the changing of what happens when we're in the old and the new energy. Okay. I hope you find that useful. Rosario. Sorry, I just said I wasn't going to say names. Maybe you wanted me to. I'm so sorry. Let me just check and see if it's really sensitive. Okay. So it doesn't look that sensitive, thank goodness. So it says, "Hi Tiffany, glad to see you again. I came back to Spain and I'm planning to start my practice here, and I would like to know how you feel for 2016 for me about love and work. Thank you, my dear." Okay, it feels to me as if there's a lot of finding your feet, and there's a lot of, you know, what I was saying about this energy of this month of the ping pong ball wizard, even, you know, there's this energy of you kind of not being able to see particularly clearly. There's a lot of people around you and there's a lot of offers coming your way. And I think you're going to meet some amazingly interesting characters. And I feel like there's a couple of love interests in there, but it doesn't feel like anything really completely lands or roots itself and takes a strong effect for a while. But that's usually the case when you've made a major change, even if it is your native country. There is, you know, you've been away for so long, there is a sense here of you really having to find your feet. So I think the best thing you can do is really let go of any expectations that you should be somewhere other than where you are. It does feel like it's about exploration, and it feels very magical, and it feels very like you're going to learn lots of eye-opening things through experiences and the people that you meet. So it's about being open to the picture that the universe has for you more than the picture that you have for it. Okay, I hope I wish you well with it all. Thank you. Okay. So let's have a look. So someone here says they've had a hellish year. And please, could you tell me how I can move forward more positively and what kind of stuff is coming up for me? So the first thing that I'm feeling for you is I'm being drawn to the solar plexus. I feel as if I've had my guts ripped out, to be honest. It's making Halloween look like some kind of fairy party. So it feels to me like this, it's quite graphic. And like I said, sometimes, you know, this information is really graphic because it's melodramatic and it's kind of trying to get over to you what needs to shift in order for things to be different in quite a strong way, so that you do something about it. So, you know, I'm seeing like from the solar plexus, there's an opening and there's intestines on the floor. I'm seeing dogs eating them. I'm hearing guts for garters. It feels to me as if you have got yourself in a situation that was very dark, and that this is something to do with you. I think you've been feeling a little bit too dependent on others and they've been draining you because of it. And so this is about you having faith. From what I can see, it's about having faith that you are strong enough. So what I was saying earlier about fears and how the more we give in to fears, the worse that it gets. It feels like maybe that's the path you've been on. I'm getting in my head 8 years, and you know, these things come back around harder and harder and harder and harder until we do something about it. So I think maybe a good practice for you would be to just ask yourself, are you making a decision out of fear? And if you are, what can you do to support yourself to take a little step in the other direction? And I think that will start getting you more and more going in the direction that's healthy for you. I hope that you find that useful. But yeah, peer group. I keep getting peer group, and I keep getting problems, friends, neighbours, community. Obviously, I don't, well, I say obviously, I don't feel as if you can just get up and move that easily, or at least that's what the feeling I'm getting from your head. But actually what's coming back from the universe is why not, you know? It might not be that you could completely sell, or there might be some other seeming blocks, but actually if you think out the box, there's no reason why you can't take yourself out of the environment, at least temporarily, in order to give you that shift. Okay, I hope that that is useful for you. I'm just going to take another drink of water, guys. So as you can see, I'm not using the tarot now. I'm just going very much on my own feelings, okay? This is the channel part. So we've done the astrology and the tarot. This is the channel part. So this one says, can you look at the energy of opening my shop, please? Thank you. Okay. I'm getting a problem with damp. I'm getting it down at the back. I don't think it's a big problem. And I'm sat here, I'm asking them, like, why are you showing me this? But the message that's coming with it is that you do what you can with what you've got, with where you are. And I'm getting the month January. I don't like to be that predictive. And obviously, if it can be before then, logically, that would be better because of the Christmas trade. So if it could be this month, wouldn't that be fantastic? So I don't want it to slow you down in any way, shape or form. And there is this repetitive message of, like, start with where you are, with what you've got, with, yeah. It's again to do with will, and I'm asking how strong your will is, and I'm getting 8 or 9. So I'm wondering what it is that's holding you back and what it is you need for it to be a 10. And that could bring it forward from January. That's the message that I've got around that. It feels like you want lots of things in it. It feels like you want lots of stock. And of course, for a shop, you do need, like, lots of stock. But is that kind of holding you up? And is there a way that you can get around that somehow whilst you build up? That's the messages that are coming through. Okay, another question here. I feel the energies of my ex lingering in my space. I feel it will block me with meeting a better, more true love. What does Spirit advise? Okay. Accept it. Accept it. Yeah, okay, it's there. It's, I would say, 40% in your field. And I feel the more that you try to release it, or you resist the fact that it's there, the worse it gets. Yeah. This is about making peace. This is about forgiveness. This is about love. This is about dissolving. It's not about resisting. So the more practices that you can do that are on that level, that are embracing, that are honoring however it ended, and that are just kind of, yeah, transforming any icky energies into this kind of, okay, yeah, it happened. It happened this way. It's still there. It's okay. It's time. It's a process. And it's about kind of just healing that energy rather than resisting it. I hope that you find that useful. So someone here says, each idea I've had, I don't know if still have. I'm very confused. Any guidance? Is Devon still a good idea to move to? Is a counselling or spiritual counselling course good for me? Would homeopath be holistically for health or to start? So it's, yeah, it's even coming over in your message, isn't it? My goodness. I would say, particularly with the energies of this month, that, you know, it's really time to stop and actually kind of just go, if I'm confused for a reason. It really feels like it's not about making decisions. It feels like it's more about being in a place where you can actually calm down. And I don't mean that in a patronizing way. It's just come through so strongly. It's just like the message, it's like really here, and it's like calm down. So I don't know whether you're having breathing problems or anything along those lines, but maybe meditation, I think, would probably be the best thing for you, even if it's a breathing practice of breathing in for 7 and breathing out for 11. It feels like there's so much energy going on in your head. And what I was saying about the 3rd week and the need to simplify is very, very, very important. So yeah, any time pressure that you have, and being told that that's a stress, and that's an illusion. Stress is an illusion. And just to give yourself permission to not know. Definitely not able to help you decide, because all I can do is actually go into your energy, and it's like, it's here, there, and everywhere. You're not going to be able to make a decision that is actually going to be the right one whilst you feel like that. So the first thing is to really get your energy clear. You know, if you can have a spa break or a massage, a detox, because detoxing isn't just for your body, it's for your mind as well. It really clears your thoughts. And so that is the first port of call, not the outside, it's the inside. I hope you find that useful. Okay, there's one here saying, is it time to walk away from Darren, or do I need to continue to be patient? To be honest, I'm not being, well, I am being psychic when I say this, but to be honest, it's what I would say to everyone. Because when I tune into the energies of anybody that's actually waiting for someone, it's so stagnant, and this is no exception. Sometimes you do have an exception, but it's not helping you or him move forward in any shape or form. So you can keep a person in your heart, but for goodness sake, you know, do not stop living for them. And so, yeah, I mean, it's more of a general thing for you. It's what I would say to anybody, usually. That is how the energy feels. It's like, oh, goodness, yeah, okay. So something here really needs to shift, because even if they were going to come to you, they can't come to you whilst it's stuck in that space. The reason they're not with you at the moment is because it's not ready. And by waiting, you're just putting the pause on anyway. So I hope that you find that useful too. This one says, I'm a Pisces and fingers. Okay, that's interesting. I'm a Pisces and fingers. It's so difficult to feel balanced. Is there a way of me doing this easily? I always want both sides to something. It's a good question. I just keep seeing, this is the first time well, no, it's not the first time I had a vision. I had a vision about the shop, because in the shop question, I was seeing damp basement downstairs and lots of Indian products. Now in this one, I'm seeing you on a boat, but the boat is like something out of a tarot card. It's like the 6 of Swords, which is a boat with 6 swords in, funnily enough. And actually the swords play a part, because if they weren't there, it would sink. But whilst they're there, it can go across to the other side. It's a slow moving card, and it seems to be saying that you actually have made progression on this, and you're not looking at how much progression you've made. That's the message that's coming through. So the best thing to do is look at how far you've come and actually start kind of making lists of like the things that have changed, the progression that you have made, gratitude around those things to yourself, pat yourself on the back and to life as well, and start looking at how far you've come rather than how far you've got to go. In the last 12 years, I'm being told that you've actually improved by 85%. So have a little check-in for yourself and see if that's the case. Okay. Find, not fingers. Sorry, no problem. It was amusing. Fish with fingers. Fish fingers. Okay. Okay. All right. So some feedback saying that the person just got an email from the person that was distancing themselves to say he's not less interested and it might just be his own insecurities, and yet we're on the same wavelength. Absolutely. So the worst thing you can do is feed into that with your own insecurities. Yeah. So just step into it. Step into the new you. Remember what you want to leave behind from this meditation earlier. Okay, so it's just one question each. Okay, so if you've put more than one question, I will be not taking it on. Okay, so let's have a look here. Lots of love and thanks, and saying that it's spot on and it's been helpful. Thank you for the feedback. That's great to know. I've got a lovely message here saying that they would like a name of a guide, and that you acknowledge and you talk to them every day through the day, and would appreciate a little more personal connection. Thank you. It's not normally what I would do. And I'll tell you why. Like, even when I channel my guide so that he speaks directly through me, which hasn't happened today, but it does sometimes happen on the Astro Tarot channel. Like, I never even ask him his name. Basically, names are just there, like you say, for a little more personal connection, but they're not a person. They are someone that's been so many people and they don't incarnate anymore. So actually, you know, I understand why you might want their name, but it's you that wants their name. Yeah. Whereas the most important thing is that they give you the message, or that you speak to them. If they gave you a name, like it's happened before, I've tuned in, asked spirit for a name, and they're like, well, give her this one. And it's so flippant from the other side, because it means nothing. It's like, well, I maybe had that name like 16 lifetimes ago, or something along those lines. So it's like, what is actually really important here? And if you want a little more personal connection, then what's wrong with you naming them? Like, we all name like the people that we love, don't we? We all give them little nicknames. So inside of me, I've got this kind of feeling of like, oh, I'm not sure I want to do that, to be honest. And like I said, you know, sometimes I might just reframe your question, because that's the way I work. And what I'm not worried about, but what I feel inside of me is like this resistance, because it's like, it's so not about the name. And the fact that you've got like a really good kind of conversation going on with them, that's the thing to really, really, really put your attention on. So I'm actually not going to do that, because it feels so against. I've got this like this breaks going off inside of me around that. So what I will give you is that there's something about cups. I've just been shown a cup, so I don't know whether that helps at all for you. But also, you know, you can just, as I said, give yourself permission to give them a name. You know, it doesn't have to come from them. And guides are funny. They will only give you the information when they want to, because it's all about divine timing. Yeah. So for ages, like, I didn't see my guide's face for ages, you know, so I did have a name, but I didn't have a face. So, you know, it all comes at the right time. And, you know, it just doesn't feel right for me to be kind of going against that feeling right now of that. And I hope that you find that okay and that you're all right with that. So there's a question at the top that I can't see because it's the last one that came in, and it's just the way this platform is, unfortunately. So if you could put, anyone could put like some dots just and press return, and it will jolt it down. That would be fantastic. So I'll just wait for that to happen. Here we go. Okay. I'm strongly drawn to further study next year, but unsure if this will help with achieving my goals or unnecessary. Do I already have enough to move forward, and just doubting myself and judgment? Well, yes, you already have enough to move forward. Very much so. And it's just a way of procrastinating. It's just a way of feeding the fear. It's just a way of keeping yourself small. And the more we do that, the worse it gets. There's always more to study. And just because you maybe start doing something doesn't mean that your studying days are over. So watch that tendency inside of yourself, because it is just a way to keep you kind of not going out there and really serving in the way that you want to do. Okay. Thank you, Dee-Dam. She's put lots and lots of dots down so that I could get that. Okay, so that's the end of the Astro Tarot channel for today. And if you like what you saw, do readings, I have my course coming up, and it starts on the 19th of November. So this really is the last call for it. If you would like to apply, what happens is I will just show you about this now. Okay, so it should display the offer. Okay, so it should come up here on the screen for you now. This is how you apply, because it's by application only, because there really are some key characteristics that are needed for this course. Okay, so the first one is that you see tarot as a way to spiritually develop or to get in tune with the rhythms of life. Okay, that you are in this place in your life where you're so kind of like, actually, that I need to commit myself to something that is going to really bring me so much self-knowledge and really change things up. Then if that's where you are, then please go ahead and apply. If you're just like slightly interested, or like, well, maybe I'll do this, and not feeling like that real pull to actually go into something and really immerse yourself in it, then please don't apply, because it is a full-on course. It's 6 months long, and we live the tarot, and you will start to see it come alive in your life. And as that happens, that's the direct mirror of your own psychic development taking off. And so, you know, it's a journey. It's a 6-month journey through your subconscious, through yourself, through your lens of life, and the understanding that comes through that is phenomenal. And if you're ready for it and you're going, yeah, awesome, I really feel that, I really want to do that, then please click apply here. And what that will do is it will basically be a time for you and me to have a little tutorial. So basically I get to find out where you are with the tarot, where you want to be, what the blocks are. I'll give you some instant kind of like ways forward with that. And we also discuss the suitability on whether it's right for you to go on this course or not. Okay, all right. So click apply here to apply for that, because this is the last chance now for the next 6 months or so. And I also don't know whether I'm going to be teaching it live next time. It might be automated. So if you want to do it with me as a live guide and a live journey through it, then now's your time. So thank you very much, very, very much for your questions and your lovely energy and your lovely support. And I wish you a really, really fantastic Halloween. And as you wake up tomorrow, that you feel so much lighter and that you've left so much behind that you no longer wish to take with you. Okay, lots of love and look forward to our next connection. Take care for now. Bye.